Hey guys, Effie here. Today I'm going to show you how I made these 4 fall or Thanksgiving theme tags. They're so fun to make and they're all different, so let's get started. I'm starting out with our Autumn Wishes stamp set. It's a 4x6, really whimsical and sweet set. Since we're making a tag today, we don't need very large images. So I'm starting off by stamping the 2 smaller branches and some of the sweet birds in this stamp set in our Caviar hybrid ink onto some regular white cardstock. Once I've gotten all of these sweet images stamped, I'm going to color them in with Copic markers. Since these are fall theme tags, I'm going to stick with warm colors. I'm starting off by using the orange YR18 and I colored in most of the leaves and only half of the larger leaves. The other half I colored in with the YR24, so the larger leaves are half toned. Then I'll use the E79 to color in the branches, and then I'll color in the birds. I'm going to show you how I colored in this bird, but I actually don't use it in the final tag. But I just wanted to give you an idea of how I colored this small bird in. Next, I'll color in the cardinals using a combination of RV29 Crimson, and then I use a darker red RV69 Peony. Since I stamped 2 cardinals, I'll color in that smaller cardinal the same exact way that I colored in the larger one using the same 2 Copic markers. Then this bird, I just used the B32. I just used the 1 blue marker and colored in all 4 birds with that same light blue marker. Next, I cut out all the images with my Scan and Cut 2. Anytime I have a lot of small images that I want to cut out, I prefer to use my Scan and Cut because it just cuts everything out at once and it's just much more convenient. And you can just see how easily they get cut out with the machine. You just have to bend your cutting mat and just kind of peel off each individual image. Then I die cut this tag from our Holiday Chic tag dies, and I also die cut the reinforcers, and these dies will add the piercing at the edges, so that's what makes these a little bit more special because it's not the usual stitching that you see on other dies. Now I'm just going to create my own cloud stencil using just regular scratch paper or printer paper. I just use my scissors to cut out the design. I can also make an SVG cut file of this cloud stencil. So if any of you guys are interested in that, let me know in the comments and I'll make one if there's enough interest. So next I'm just going to blend on some of our Cali blue dye ink using this DIY stencil and a makeup brush, and I'm just going to add this blended cloud design right onto that die cut tag. Next, I'll just glue on the reinforcers on the front and back side of my tag using some Thermoweb Ultra Bond liquid adhesive. Next, I temporarily place the 2 branches at the corners of my tag, and then I'm going to stamp some bird silhouettes right onto the tag. Next, I just looped in some green ribbon, and this is just some ribbon that I got from Michaels. It was a 3-pack. It came with green, gold, and red. Next, I'm going to start assembling my card. I popped up the 2 branches at 2 corners of my tag, and then I cut off the excess pieces at the top and bottom, but I did leave a little bit of the branch at the top portion hanging off for a little bit of interest. Then I started popping up my 2 cardinals on the branches. Then I stamped my fall greeting sentiment directly on the tag, and then lastly I just popped up my last 3 bluebirds onto the tag, and this tag is now finished. Let's move on to the second tag. I'm using our oak leaf print 4x6 set. This design was inspired by block printing designs. I do block printing as a hobby, so you'll see that some of the designs in our collection, like this oak leaf print or even our folk art Christmas tree, those designs are inspired by block printing, and I'm actually really loving this line because it's a little bit different from what I usually design. And now I'm just partially inking up this daisy image using the Amber Citrine, Aspen Cocoa, and Bright Fern mini ink cubes, and this is how you get a multicolored image. You can just use the mini inks and just partially ink up your stamps, and that's actually how I inked up the acorns earlier using warm hazelnut and Aspen Cocoa mini inks. And now I'm just going to take that same cloud stencil and add a blended background onto my second tag. Next, I added the reinforcers on the front and back of my tag. Next, I added a row of 4 oak leaves at the bottom of my tag. I adhered them using liquid adhesive, but I had to shift them a little bit more to the left after I realized after sticking down that last one at the end, it was kind of sticking off, so I had to shift them all to the left. Then I added another row of maple leaves right on top of that oak leaf row. Once my leaves were down, I added my sweet little squirrel and the 3 multi-stamped or multicolored daisies, and then I added one little acorn in the corner. Once I added my ribbon, I was almost complete. I'm just going to add a happy Thanksgiving sentiment to this tag, and this one is complete. Let's move on to the last 2 tags. This is going to be basically the same design. I just used 2 different shape tags. So I placed my oak leaf print stamp onto the door of my mini Misty, and then I'm going to lightly ink up that oak leaf stamp and stamp it onto that scratch paper inside the Misty, just so I know exactly where to place my tag. So I temporarily adhered my tag right onto my Misty, and then I inked up my stamp and then stamped my tag, and now I have this beautiful background image covering most of the tag. And then I'm just going to stamp a second tag. I just used the other tag die from the same holiday chic tags because I wanted to see how this design would look on both, because one of the tags has that fishtail end and then the other one is just a straight edge. I'm just so in love with the way the oak leaf print stamped onto these tags. It kind of looks like pattern paper because the tags are not large and the oak leaf print stamp is pretty big, so it covered most of the surface of the 2 tags. Next, I stamped 2 sentiments, which are from our Thanksgiving block set. One says thankful and blessed, the other one says happy fall. I stamped the 2 on strips, cut them out. The happy fall sentiment, I just stapled right onto the fishtail banner end tag, and then I popped up the other one right over the other tag. Next, I added the reinforcers to both tags and then the ribbons, and my last 2 tags are complete. I hope you guys enjoyed today's projects. I can't remember the last time I made tags in a video, but I really enjoyed making these because they were different from my usual and I wanted to get out of my comfort zone, especially with making tags and making fall theme projects. So I love the way that these turned out and I can't wait to actually use them. I hope you guys enjoyed the variety that I presented today. Thanks for watching, guys. If you haven't done so already, be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel because I update it weekly.